So Jane, you are coming to us live from our LA studio. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Really glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Glee is coming up on Thursday, and last episode everyone was pretty shaken up and wondering if Sue Sylvester is gone for good, and Gleeks are understandably worried. Will you be back?
Well, Sue Sylvester will live on. However, she's not at McKinley for a while, as far as I know. I don't know that she will be rehired, but she is currently teaching aerobics at the 23-hour fitness.
23-hour fitness. Okay.
23-hour fitness, not to be confused with the other one.
And
Yeah, but it was a pretty tough episode. Lauren Potter, who plays Becky, came to school with a loaded gun, and Sue took the fall for her, and that's what got her fired. So.
What do you make of the controversy sort of around that episode? The fact that Glee took on such sensitive material at this point in time.
Well, I think it's a hot button issue right now, and a lot of people have a lot of feelings about it, a lot of different feelings about it. But that's what Ryan Murphy does. He prods and cajoles and puts the light on things that that maybe he feels people need to look at. And I think it was done very well and very sensitively. And I think that a lot of people were moved by it. And I'm very proud of that episode.
Yeah, no, it definitely got people talking, so it was a really interesting episode for Glee, and surely a milestone. Okay, so you've turned Sue Sylvester into an iconic TV villain of sorts, and now you're taking on one of the most legendary bullies in history, Miss Hannigan, in the Broadway revival of Annie, which is very exciting. But even though Sue is this intense cheerleading czar, we know there's a good heart underneath the tracksuit. So will you be bringing some of Sue to Miss Hannigan when you're on Broadway?
Well, I think that Miss Hannigan isn't all bad, so I think there are definitely moments, and I'm working on them now, where you get to see a humanity and a vulnerability in her. She's much sloppier than Sue Sylvester. Sue Sylvester is like a Marine. She's very regimented and very purposeful and appears a certain way completely on purpose. And Hannigan's drunk, sloppy, and wears her heart on her sleeve. And it's no secret that she's insecure, and she takes it out on the kids. But hopefully that makes her laughable as well.
So did you seek out any advice from Broadway veterans like Matthew Morrison or Leah Michele, your co-stars on Glee?
I did, especially Darren Criss, who did a 3-week stint of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which he did last Christmas. And yeah, he told me, in fact, I hired his assistant. He told me how you need to rearrange your energy. I'm a morning person, and that's going to end. And he told me the name of some good teachers and how to conserve your voice. And actually just told me yesterday, he said, we're mic'd. So he said, you don't have to sing out. You can find places to be more subtle and not to sing as loud because you want to be able to save your voice because there's 8 shows a week. So yeah, he's been really helpful.
So how did this Broadway gig come about? Were you out there kind of looking for a musical theater role?
Well, not consciously, but I think I magnetized it. I've always wanted to do a musical, and I've always wanted to be on Broadway. I never thought it was a possibility. So when this came up, I almost said no. I was so scared that I was searching my brain for reasons why I can't do it. It's just not. No, I don't think I have very little time off. And then, I got honest with myself, and I was afraid. And I was afraid of jumping off that cliff. And I haven't jumped off a creative cliff in a long time. So, I'm doing it.
Well, you handled Nicki Minaj, so I think you've got Broadway down. You'll be good.
Oh, thank you so much. Really looking forward to it. And I love doing that Minaj song, too. That was fun.
Okay, so your name has actually been floated as a possible host for the Tonys this year. I've seen some of that in the media a little bit. Would you be interested in that gig? Obviously, you did a great job with the Emmys.
Yeah, if they asked me, I'd say yes. But it's kind of funny. There are so many people who have been on Broadway for so long, and then a television star does, 2 months, and all of a sudden I'm hosting the Tonys. That feels a little, I don't know, maybe. But I'd do it.
Well, people would be excited.
Yeah, yeah.
No. All right, so tell us a little bit. You're running around this morning, cheering people up in LA. You're dropping all the insults and the bullying, and you're going to be on this mini motivational speaking tour.
Right, exactly. Well, I've teamed up with Belvita breakfast biscuits, which are a very popular product in the UK and are now coming to America. And they're these very crispy, crunchy biscuits made of whole grain, and they're baked in such a way, and this is why I really love them, that they give you sustained energy all morning long. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I usually skip it. And so by lunchtime, as I'm sure well, all of you are as well, I'm ravenous and I make poor choices and I eat crappy things. So when I found these biscuits, and that it actually does really work, you have one serving of the biscuits and they're crunchy and delicious, and you are satiated for the whole morning. You don't have that energy dip, and that's so important. And it's the way they bake them, and it's whole grain, so it releases kind of steadily through your system and giving you steady energy all morning. So I'm going all over Los Angeles. I went to a spinning class this morning. I went to the post office because it's tax day. A lot of people lined up putting their tax returns in the mail after a night of crunching numbers, and they need that energy in the morning. And we're going to the Grove, a shopping center here in Los Angeles, and there are going to be these pop-up yoga classes and a coffee truck. Everybody's celebrating the release of this wonderful breakfast biscuit that is kind of a no-brainer in the morning. And finally, there's something that I really don't have to think too much about. Have a little Greek yogurt, and you're set.
Well, maybe if Sue had one of those, she'd be a little bit more cheerful.
It's a good breakfast in the morning. That might be her problem. She could use a little Belvita breakfast biscuit action.
Well, awesome. Well, I enjoyed watching the video, of course, the clip that was on Facebook.
Facebook, yes, I did these little videos, kind of a mini morning show where my guests are people who are dragging their butts through the morning, and I give them the biscuit. And now all of a sudden they can get through their morning with this steady, sustained energy.
All right. Well, Jane, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we'll be sure to check in with Glee, see what happens with Sue, and good luck on Broadway.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Bye.